I got you. I got you.
Everybody trying to be content creators and trying to go viral. You want to go viral?
Okay, you want to go viral. Let's go viral then.
Say less.
Let go.
Let's embrace it. Let's love it. Let's enjoy it. And let's give them the experience of their life. That's Roswell for you, baby. Come together. And guys, this is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us. Don't forget to share and dance like you just don't care. It's early in the morning. Let's have a day. And like I said, be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Shout out PMS.
Good morning and welcome to Speaking Out Loud. I am your host, Rene Ruiz. And along with me, joining me here in just a few as he gets situated, we'll bring him on, Mr. John Borba. But here we go. Boys, I'd like to introduce the one with the buys, the one with the tries, the one with the broad chest, the one and only John Borba.
Going on?
Johnny, welcome, Johnny. What's going on, brother?
Another day, just getting ready for work, and
There's John Borba. There's the
grind. Just getting ready for the weekly grind.
Amen, bro. JB, what a hell of a week, a hell of a weekend, a hell of a week. The start of fair week. The parade is kicking off today here in Roswell, New Mexico. It should be a wonderful time. My beautiful daughter is going to be in the parade, so I'm excited for her, for Berendo Middle School Student Council. So shout out to her and her friends. I hope they have a good time. And shout out to everybody that's going out there today. I encourage you guys to be positive, spread your love, and enjoy the small moments that we get to cherish with each other as a community as a whole. What a beautiful slate of NFL football yesterday. It unfortunately ended in something that I've never or something that I hate to see in the NFL because it's not soccer. I don't know how soccer folks enjoy watching a full 90 minutes of soccer to end with a tie. And we got a little bit of a taste of that last night, JB. We watched an entire 3 hours of football to end with a 40-40 tie. The Packers head over to AT&T Stadium with Micah Parsons' return to go head to head with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. JB, what was your big takeaways from that game last night?
My big takeaways are obviously things that we've been talking about with the Cowboys. I mean, their secondary is in shambles. Don't got the best pass rush, so the defense is going to give up points. How is the offense going to play, and how consistently can the offense hold up week after week? And I think the biggest takeaway that I got is we kind of expected, if it's going to be for the Cowboys to have success, they're going to have to put points on the board because they're going to give up points. That's pretty much what we're going to have to go into every week. Now, the big thing is as a Packers fan, I think there's more of a takeaway on this game where you're a little bit more panicky. You're like, wow, like our defense really isn't that hyped up to be, a top 5 defense that everybody was saying it was. I mean, one great pass rusher really changes the issues sometimes on the back end of things, especially if he can't get home. And Micah Parsons didn't really get home last night. He got recorded technically 1 sack, but that was was the game winner.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that was ultimately the game winning. So that's why Micah. I mean, that's a game saving touchdown right there. Where Dak's rolling out,
Yeah, it really was.
Chance to score. Cowboys probably win the game if Dak gets in right there. So that was a game stopping play, but that's where I guess that money shows up in an instance like that, I guess. But as far as I'm concerned, I think you guys pretty much held Micah in check for the most part. And I think there's more issues on Green Bay's side right now, technically defensively, than the Cowboys. I mean, because we kind of know what the Cowboys are going to give up, and they benched Trayvon Diggs early in the game. He came back in, made some good splash plays here and there. So maybe that
almost had a pick,
boost up the secondary a little bit. But we know what to expect week to week, and you guys are going to have to put up a lot of points to compete. And it's just something. Even without CeeDee Lamb, you guys played a good offensive game. And I think that's more your guys' offense exploited a lot of things on this Green Bay Packer defense that a lot of people weren't talking about. And I don't give a great credit for that first week 1 victory because obviously things have changed in Green Bay since then. When Detroit came in
Yeah,
and they blew them
yeah.
out. So I think there's a lot to take away from how good are the Packers really, but we know what to
That's
expect with the Cowboys. Cowboys are still going to be fighting for a playoff spot and all that stuff. It's just we know what to expect from them at this point. It's
and
the
let me
Packers.
ask you this.
Got a few more questions.
Let me ask you this. All right. So Dak goes 31 for 43 touchdowns. Phenomenal day. Jordan Love combated that with a 31 for 43, three touchdown day himself. Uh, the one thing that Jerry Jones said this, right? The reason he traded Micah Parsons was he wanted to focus on stopping the run game. And Micah Parsons going over to Green Bay, I think Green Bay's kryptonite has been a similar issue is them not being able to stop the running game. And it seems like they still have that same issue that
Yeah.
they can't slow down the running game. I mean, Williams was cooking them boys last night. He was averaging 6.7 rush yards last night. I feel like we said this back, or I told you this to kick off whenever the trade happened, is I don't know that the Packers defense looks much different than what the Cowboys defense already was. It's like they just switched superstars. They just switched their best players on the defensive line. And Kenny Clark had a decent game. The one thing about the one takeaway that I will say about the Cowboys defense, they did have two blown coverages where they had those deep passes down the field. But it Matt LaFleur Matt LaFleur, Eberflus, it seems like he's gonna stick to that zone concept. He's not gonna send too much pressure. I wish he would send a little more pressure a little more often. I think once we get Overshown back, he looks like he's trending to get back right before Thanksgiving. I think once we get him back, Agent Zero, Overshown from the University of Texas, once we get him back, JB, I think we'll see improvement on the defense. I don't know if it's going to be a dramatic difference. I'm expecting a dramatic difference when he gets back, but because he adds explosiveness, and he adds a grit, he adds toughness. He's going to add some leadership to that defense, and I think that's kind of what they're missing. They don't have someone that can bring that whole group together, and I think Overshown will be able to bring that as long as he can stay healthy. But of course, that's a big ask, especially from a guy who's been out for multiple games. But
Yeah.
I expect. I hate that. I just hate that it ended in a tie. It's like I don't know how to feel, and it seems like the players don't know how to feel either. JB, let's listen here into Dak real quick to his response to a maybe a waste of a time, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't play the game for ties. I've told y'all before, I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. I just care about the end result and the win. And so when you don't get that, right now it's tough for me. Guess 10 years in, the first tie I've been a part of, it's hard to kind of wrap my head around it because I know I'd feel a hell of a lot worse if it was a loss. But I'm not satisfied. Not that I would be if we won, but yeah, it's a weird feeling.
Dak seemed a little confused, and also so did Mr. Pickens here. Let's see what he had to
34
say.
yards, 2 touchdowns. Walk me through this game.
It was definitely a competitive game. I'll probably most definitely say Packers came down as soon as they got the ball, they scored, and then me personally, all I want to do is just answer and keep answering.
Ty, ever been a part of one?
Yeah. I've never been a part of a tie in my life. I didn't even know football worked like that. I thought we just would start another quarter right now and keep going. But a tie is first time, yeah.
What does it say about this team, the way that you guys battled?
JB, I mean, how do you feel about watching the tie in the
I
NFL?
don't like
That's a little
ties.
gross, right?
Yeah, I don't. I think ties should be taken away. It's kind of ridiculous. I think if the quarter runs out, I think there should be like a 5 minute quarter after that or something. I don't know, like just something to prevent that from happening because nobody likes a tie. And I mean,
Yeah,
essentially, you
yeah.
watch
I
a
like
high
it
scoring game. I think it was tied as the highest scoring game ever to end in a
to
tie.
end in a tie. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so I don't
exactly
like
what
it. I personally don't like it. I
I
don't think a
hated
lot
it.
of people like it.
NFL, fix it. That seems like something so simple that should have gotten fixed a long time ago. It's dumb that the rules are different for a playoff game than a regular season game. Like in the playoff game, we would just keep going. They would just add
Yeah,
another quarter. So why aren't we doing that in the regular season? Like this is dumb. And then when they start throwing player safety into the equation. It's like, yeah, is that really what it is? We don't think that the fact that an entire extra quarter was a player safety issue to begin with. Like, if it's a player safety issue, then let's not even have an overtime. Just
Yeah.
allow them to finish it off in regulation. If anything, let's just add the college rule to the league. You just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. The
Yeah.
college rule is pretty cool. I like the ending of college football games sometimes when they go into OT, where they're just
Yeah.
kind of going back and forth, back and forth.
Maybe
You just
one
see a battle.
quarter regular and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
put it into college the next quarter or something.
Because honestly, like, what do you like? I mean, I guess it's not a loss. I guess that's the takeaway from it. As a fan, I feel confused. I honestly don't know what to feel. Like, I want to be positive about it, obviously, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know what that does for us. I don't know. It might affect us
You
here
guys
in
are
actually
now
whenever
down
we're
a half game. You guys are down a half game, so
yeah.
you guys are like in third place now, technically. And then
Yeah,
Washington's
what a
always
tough
going to
one.
have that half game over you guys, unless you beat them.
Well, JB, I'm sure we'll somehow find a way to get back to the Cowboys at some point in this next hour. But let's talk about the Eagles staying perfect. Philadelphia moved to 4-0 after a creative 31-25 win over the Buccaneers, featuring a couple trick plays like a fake tush push to Saquon Barkley. It was a walk-in touchdown. What a beautiful touchdown from the Eagles. The Eagles are being creative with the tush push, as they should be. They shouldn't necessarily always put Jalen Hurts in that situation to get hit. I think teams are going to start getting a little dirty, a little grimy, a little couple punches to the ribs, a couple hits to the helmet. I think we're going to see it slowly. I think as the season goes on, I think we're going to see a little more aggression on that tush push on hits to Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to assume that they're going to kind of get away from it a little bit. Give it to Saquon. I love the way they did it. That game interesting, Borba. Eagles come out hot. It feels like the Eagles are going to completely cruise through this game, and then somehow, some way, they get a little conservative there in the second half. Baker Mayfield does his Baker Mayfield magic, brings that team back. Costly turnover there in the fourth quarter when they're driving down to take the lead. Baker does a little too much scrambles, gets out of the pocket, gets out of maybe two or three tackles, scrambles right, and just throws threw it directly to the linebacker and got picked off. They get the ball back and we're able to drive down and just can't finish it. Philly's defense just finishes the job. I saw on X a lot of criticism towards the OC out there in Philadelphia. JB, do you think that their offensive coordinator is deserving of that criticism, even with the 4-0 start? Or
You
what's
know,
going on in Philly? Because it feels I saw a lot of this is the worst 4-0 team in the league. How does this team keep winning? Blah blah blah. Get the OC out of here.
the
The
thing
Eagles
is,
fans? Is that just because their expectations are so high? What's going on out there?
like they're still getting wins. Like I think what it is they're playing really conservative to start the game, and then if they put themselves in a bad situation like how last week is, then they're going to open it up. Which honestly, that's not a winning formula, but putting yourself in bad
But
situations is not
is
a
it?
winning formula either. So sometimes you got to go out of that and kind of get away from the run. They are very conservative when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. Like, of course, you're not seeing the big splash plays. You're not seeing Devontae Smith and AJ Brown get involved hardly at all. I mean, really. I mean, at this point, are you
Oh,
kind of
about right.
wasting like AJ Brown's, the end of his prime? Are you kind of wasting that right now? But then again, you can trade it off with wins. So, and AJ Brown, like, what is he going to do? Ask for a trade? Like, who wants to get traded off of a former, the reigning Super Bowl champion team? And right now, they're still the
Yeah,
favorites.
potentially the best team. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
AJ
don't.
Brown having 2 targets for 7 yards
They
is
can,
beyond me.
yeah. The thing is, they can win in different ways. So that's what makes them scary. Like if they were to go down, we saw it last week. If they were to go down, then obviously they can make plays on the outside. Jalen Hurts can move the ball not only with his feet but with his arm. It's just like you got to pick your poison against this team, and like the way that they want to control the game is obviously by running the ball. You get your tight ends involved a little bit, and the receivers just don't see too much love right now. Um, AJ Brown's not seeing what he wants to see, obviously, and that's probably frustrating. But on the other side, you're getting wins. And if somebody can stop us and make us get out of that game plan, then okay. But I really don't think, maybe it's not the funnest offense to watch or something like that, but I don't
Drew
think you
Brees
can
said that.
fire an OC or have him on the hot seat. You're 4-0. Right now, you're the best team in the NFC. So
Yeah,
it's unfair criticism.
I'd be curious to talk to an Eagles fan, and if we have any Eagles fans in the comments, I'd like to know just what your thought process is. Like, are you frustrated with the way that team's going, or are you excited? Because watching them, it feels a little frustrating, but it's almost like you kind of expect them to pull it out. I mean, Jalen Hurts only went 15 for 24, and like I just said, what's his name only had 2 receptions. AJ Brown, my apologies. AJ Brown only had 2 receptions for 7 yards. That that seems bonkers, and they only scored 7 points in the second half, and that came in the third quarter. I don't know how they squeezed out that game. I mean, we know exactly how they squeezed out that game. They gave up 31 points, but the defense played pretty. I would say they played pretty great. Um, the score doesn't justify how good their defense is. The one thing about their defense is it feels like it's one of those bend but don't break defenses, right? They're going to give up a couple yards, but when it matters, it seems like they close those windows and they're able to create turnovers. I mean that's the biggest thing is they're winning the turnover battle right now. And I wonder if maybe their offense is just getting too many possessions. Like they're just getting too many possessions for a team that's trying to game manage as well as they're trying to game manage, and the game just seems to get away from them. But JB, we did talk about this on Thursday. We talked about I told you Baker Mayfield eventually like this magic's going to kind of wear off. You're going to get in a situation where it doesn't work out. Too many close games, not being able to step on a throat, and the Bucks had their backs against the wall in this game. They made a wonderful comeback, so on and so forth. But this is what we're talking about. You can't expect to always win these tight games, and I think Baker Mayfield got a little bit of a taste of that with the sour interception there at the end. But what's your takeaway from the Bucks? Are we still feeling pretty good moving forward?
Bucks are still, for the most part, pretty solid team. You get Chris Godwin back, so he had a couple catches yesterday. But of course, Egbuka. I mean, he's probably rookie of the year right now. So you just got to tighten some things up. You cannot be in close games every week and expect to win all of them. And Baker tried to do too
Yeah.
much right there at the end, and it costed his team ultimately. From finishing off that comeback. So I just think you got to. I mean, the skill at the NFL level, like you expect comebacks like this almost. Like, I mean, all these dudes can ball out. These are literally the best athletes when it comes to playing this sport. Like the margin of error, the margin of victory, every week's going to be hard. And right now, there's really no awful team in the NFL right now. There's really no bad team. There's some strengths to every team. I mean, obviously the Saints are kind of the Saints and Panthers are probably the worst of the worst, but we've seen both of those teams. I mean, Saints put up a good win. I mean, put up a good fight yesterday against the Bills. Um, Panthers, I mean, they did not look good, but we obviously know that this team can come back in the third and fourth
You
quarter
got to
when
come
it
out and
doesn't
play.
matter. So the margin of victory for like these teams, against another good team is very little, and they can come back at any moment. You get the right players involved, you get the right momentum, everything like that. Get a few balls going your way, whatever it might be. The momentum of the game can swing in any direction at any time. And that's all you need for these teams to just have a little bit of hope, and they can come back. I mean, Eagles come back from 20 plus down last week, and the Bucks almost come down from 20 plus this past week. Like, you just never know what's going to happen. But you cannot keep putting yourself in situations that you're such a fine line, such a fine margin of win or loss. You can't do that every week. So Bucks, they got to
Yeah,
tighten
yeah,
up a
yeah.
little bit defensively. They got to be more consistently on offense too. They got to be more consistent on offense. That's a big thing. That's always kind of been the big thing. Me watching Baker and stuff like that, the consistency just isn't there all game. That's one of the
Yeah,
knocks for
yeah.
sure.
Only 6 points in the first half. They
Yeah.
finally lit some fire under their asses and got it together in the third quarter, putting up 14 points, but just couldn't get it done. JB, some of the worst teams in the league, man. It's the Texans and the Titans and the Panthers and the Saints, and it seems like one of those teams just completely loses one. Last week was the Saints. This week was Cam Ward and the Titans. Cam Ward in his post game interview came out and said, "We just stink. Like we're ass." And he
Yeah.
wasn't lying. That's what they are right now. They're terrible. He seems to have the right tangibles as a quarterback. He seems to have he's a leader. He seems like a dog. It seems like the Titans are somewhat trending in the right direction as far as like personnel. But man, getting shut out yesterday, tough loss to an 0-3 Texas team. It seems like CJ Stroud kind of got into rhythm, going 22 for 28 for 233 yards and 2 touchdowns. Nico Collins having a little bit of a better day with 4 receptions for 79 yards. That's a tough L for the Titans, man. I hope they can somewhat figure it out, but if not, it looks like they may be potentially heading for that first round pick, huh?
They're gonna definitely, yeah, they're trending towards. I think they're gonna be a top 10 pick, anyways. I mean, you still got to beat out the Panthers, who are really bad too. So Saints are bad too. So you
But the
got a couple other
Panthers got
teams.
to win. Yeah.
Yeah, Panthers. Yeah, they got to win, but then next week they get absolutely destroyed. This week, what was I don't even know the score,
Yeah,
like
no, yeah, for
42
sure.
to 6 or something like that.
42 to 13. Yeah,
Just
42 to
absolutely
13.
getting killed. So they're fighting for a top 5 pick at this point. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a young team. You got a lot of things to figure out. You might not have the right coach. That's another big thing. You might not have the right coach right now for your team, for your system, for what these, for what Cam Ward wants to do and all this kind of stuff. Like you might need to possibly, I mean, Brian Callahan might be on the hot seat. He might be on the hot seat because you cannot look this
Oh,
bad to start off the
I
year.
think
And you got some weapons offensively. That's the thing. So they're just not putting it together.
I think Brian Callahan might have gotten himself another year, just solely because of the fact that Cam Ward looks like he's pretty great. He seems like he might be the guy, and I think they're going to give him at least another year to kind of develop with him. I think you at least owe him that, since they are the coaching staff that drafted him. I assume that you'd at least give him another year, but hey, it's the NFL. You never know.
Yeah.
JB, there was a couple blowouts yesterday. The Bills, like we said, get over the Saints. It was a tight game up until the fourth quarter, or up until the second half when the Bills pulled away, pulling off a 31-19 victory with Josh Allen going 16 for 22, only 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. But guess what? They allowed a chef to cook yesterday. His name is James Cook. He went 22 for 117 yards and a touchdown. If you're a fantasy owner of him, like I am, that buddy cooked. He cooked for us. And then the Lions went against the Browns. The Browns are going to play the Cowboys next week. Or actually, they play the Vikings next week in Ireland. We'll talk about that Vikings game
London.
in here in just a second. The Lions not edge out, but dominate a 34-10 victory over the Browns. Joe Flacco throwing 34 times. Don't like that. Another 2 interceptions for Joe Flacco. We're waiting, Browns. We're waiting. Get the rookies out. We already know what Joe Flacco is going to give us. Stop wasting all that damn talent on defense. Come on, it's time to move on. Jamar Gibbs, 15 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. Amar St. Brown showing out again. Man, this guy's cooking the fantasy leagues right now. 7 receptions for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns, JB. This Lions team seems to have gotten it together since that loss in Green Bay. What do you think about the Lions going forward?
The Lions right now, they're the second best team in the NFC. I hate to say it,
They're the
but
second
they really
best
didn't lose a
team in the
beat. I mean,
NFC.
I'm really impressed with their defensive coordinator, Kelvin Shepard. It's almost like they haven't lost a beat. So they wrapped up Lamar last week. I mean, he was in a box all week, all game. This week they just add on to it. They add on to it. Um, they dominated the Browns as they should have. So the team's going to be tough. It's going to be tough heading forward for sure. And that's, oh man, it's frustrating. So that's,
The Lions are back. They're back to being fun. They're back to being the cool team. It's like Ben Johnson never left. It's like Ben Johnson never left. But Ben Johnson did leave. And where did he go? He went to the Windy City in Chicago. What a game, JB. Slow start for them. Going into the half down 14-9, but seemed to have caught a little bit of rhythm. Caleb Williams going 22 for 37, 212 yards and a touchdown. But most importantly for the Raiders, although they did lose, they did get their best player the ball. They finally gave Ashton Genty 21 carries, and guess what, JB? He went for
Yeah.
138 yards and a touchdown. A game that the Raiders probably should have edged out and won there at the end, but got a field goal block. Boom, perfect timing coming off the edge, blocked that sucker, ended that game. What a dramatic game. That this game was the last game of the second slate in the NFL, and I mean it was on full display for the world to see. And bro, the Raiders have just choked that away. The Raiders choked it away. My buddy, who's a Raiders fan, it seems I don't know if he's being dramatic. It is overreaction Monday. Don't forget. So in the comments, you hit me with your best overreaction. Let me know what you think, if your team's gonna win the Super Bowl, if they're completely dead and need to sell. According to my friend, he wants Mr. P out. He wants Coach P out. Coach P out of there. Geno Smith, absolute trash, according to my friend. JB, is he too far off on what he thinks of the Raiders right now?
I mean, it's all new. It's Geno Smith's first month as a Raider QB. Pete Carroll, first year with the team. You can't expect change overnight. Like, especially when you guys have been bad for what, 20 something years. You have one playoff appearance in like the past like 20 years. I don't think you can overreact. Like, you just gotta like, you should be going in here. It's another season. Your expectations should be low, and if they surpass that, then great. Like, then you can get hyped, But like at this point, you can't do that. You can't let Pete Carroll go after a month. You can't say Geno Smith is trash, which he hasn't been playing good, but any of that can turn around. The biggest thing is this offensive line. I think this offensive line is really bad. Genty's getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage so often. That's why he hasn't had any chance to get going. And then we see you create a little bit of space for this guy to get through. He's gonna break through. Like, he's gonna break through. It's just a matter of time. You got to get more consistency out of the offensive line. That's the biggest thing right
Yeah.
now in Oakland. I
Yo, you
mean,
know
they're
what's
not.
crazy?
Oakland in Las Vegas. So you gotta get the O line right. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing right now. I keep seeing it. I mean, they went for it like on 4th and 1, and then Genty gets blown up like 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He doesn't even have the ball yet. Like, like there's a
Yeah,
bigger issue. The game is so important, literally in the trenches. It determines everything. Why do you think the Eagles are good every year? Why do you think the Lions have been really good as well? Like, protecting a statue of a quarterback back there in Jared Goff. Like, they have a good O-line. The Eagles have the best O-line. They've had the best O-line for years now. The D-line, like, all this stuff is like critical. And if you don't have that, your team literally, it doesn't matter what you look like on paper. I mean, you got receivers, you got running backs, you got tight ends, you got a good quarterback. Like, yeah, the O line is so important. The O line
it's
is
so
so important.
frustrating.
It's you got to look at
Raider fans,
everything.
Raider fans. What my buddy is saying here is change your expectations. In your head,
Yeah,
you're thinking Super Bowl playoffs, and right now it's just win a game. Win a game. Let's win a game. That's what your expectations need to be. At least that's what Borba said. It is overreaction Monday. Is he serious? I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow. But it is amazing that you look at the stats here. You look at Las Vegas rushing. They had 31 attempts with Ashton Genty and Raheem Mostert. JB, 240 yards combined. That's nuts. How do you run 240 yards from scrimmage and still manage to lose that game?
I
I
don't
I
know.
know it was fluky losing by a field goal, but you
Yeah,
shouldn't even have been
that
in
part
that
sucks.
situation.
That part
And
sucks.
that's where you look at those two interceptions and you're like, gross. I don't know, JB. I texted my buddy and I said, hashtag save Crosby. I
Get rid of
mean,
him.
it's
Trade him.
put him somewhere. If you love Vegas, if you love Max Crosby, get him out of there. Let this guy go win a Super Bowl. Let this guy go win a division. Let him know what it feels like to be a winner. Where does he go? I don't know. I don't want to see him go anywhere besides the Cowboys. Probably not going to happen, but come on. Let's hashtag save Crosby. Save Max. Let's go with hashtag save Max. JB, let's move over to the same division, but let's go over to a dominant win by the Kansas City Chiefs. I told you, JB, Thursday. I told you. Backs against the wall. Patrick Mahomes always answers that phone call, baby. It's like ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is Patrick Mahomes. I'm here to save the day. And he sure did. 25 for 37 for 270 yards. Buddy cashed in 4 touchdowns on this terrible Ravens defense, who is last in the league in passing. The Ravens fall to 1-3. The Chiefs move to 2-2. Just complete dominance. Lamar Jackson goes down with a hamstring injury. It seems like he's probably going to be out a couple weeks, JB. I know on Thursday I told you I wouldn't panic if I was the Ravens. I did say that with the assumption that Lamar was not gonna come out injured after that game. Um, but it's hard not to say that it's time to hit the panic button if you're the Ravens going 1-3 into week 5, and now you got the Texans, which good defense. They got CJ Stroud, so it's not just a gimme. It's not a gimme, especially if you don't have Lamar Jackson. All of a sudden, that became a very difficult game. And then you got the Rams, the Bears, and the Dolphins. So it's not the worst slate of the next 4 games, but it is a tough stretch because you don't have your main man, and you're going to rely 100% on Derrick Henry to edge out those games for you. I mean, if you're a Ravens fan, are we hitting the panic button? Are we hitting the alarms?
You're a little nervous. You're a little
It's
nervous.
not a tornado outside, Borba. That's just the alarms in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think with what we've seen out of Lamar, like Lamar is probably one of the great regular season quarterbacks. And another like side note to this game was like, how is he going to perform? Not only gets a good opponent, but like another, Patrick Mahomes. You got Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, these guys that he's like are superior with him right at the top. And how is he going to perform against them? And he really didn't have the best performance. Um, he just didn't look comfortable, and he's not, he's kind of holding on to the ball a little too long. I mean, last week he had 7 sacks. I don't know how many times he got sacked this past game, but he did get sacked a few times as well. Just doesn't look completely comfortable back there right now. So that's a thing. Like, can Lamar get over the hump? Like, and we were starting to say that. We've been saying that, and I just don't know. I don't know. I don't think, man, they were my Super Bowl picks at the beginning of the year. Now I'm real skeptical about it because their defense cannot stop nobody. You talk about nobody. Like, oh my gosh. It's bad. It's bad.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody. Everybody
Nobody.
for the Ravens case. So they got some things to figure out for sure. And if Lamar's gone for a week or two,
It's gonna
it's
be tough.
panic. It's panic because now you got the Steelers that are unfortunately 3-1. You got they're starting to figure some things out. So now, not only do you have to start winning some games, you got to stack some wins up. You got to go through Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's playing decent, and we know that they give a lot of pressure. They always play Baltimore tough. It's a division rivalry game. You never know what you're going to get out of that. So Lamar recently in recent history has not had good outputs against Pittsburgh. So
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see how they got to start stacking some wins up, or else right now your hands just hovering over the panic button. I think right now you're kind of you're like, okay, we're going to figure it
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
We're going
yeah.
to figure it out. But if they can't figure it out, it's going to be scary. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
know what's
and
going to happen.
JB, you see that game, or let's just say you're looking at the headlines, you see Lamar go down with the injury, and you're just gonna assume, like, if you just flash on your TV and you throw that on and you saw that headline, Lamar Jackson out with a hamstring injury, in your head you're like, okay, the Chiefs dodged a bullet. They got lucky Lamar Jackson got hurt. But from the start of this game, I mean, it looked terrible for Lamar Jackson. In my head as I'm watching this, I'm like, oh man, it's about to get loud. It's about to get real loud for Lamar Jackson and Jim Harbaugh. I like at what point, like, it seems like Jim Harbaugh is one of those guys where everybody kind of respects, never really throws any shade his way. But I feel like it's about to start getting loud for him for the lack of success. They haven't been able to get over the hump. I almost put him and Sean McDermott in the same situation where it's like, at what point is just winning in the regular season? At what point do you go, okay, it's just not working out. We got to move on, because you got to be able to get over that hill. And I mean, let's just reference this to the Golden State Warriors, right? A lot of us we were kind of confused whenever Mark Jackson got replaced, because you were like, yo, Mark Jackson has developed these boys. They're ready to roll now. And then the organization makes the move to bring in Steve Kerr. And then Steve Kerr, I mean, hindsight, gets them over the hump, and then they win all these championships, right? But sometimes you do have to make those types of moves, even if it's not in favor of what you feel emotionally. Because I'm assuming Bills fans or Ravens fans, like, they have some type of love for their coach, right? And you're seeing it now with Steeler fans with Mike Tomlin. It's like, dude, what the? I mean, that's still. We'll go. I don't want to lose. I'll go back to. Let me put a pin on that. Mike Tomlin, because I do want to talk about the mess that it was in the fourth quarter. But Jim Harbaugh's starting to be put in that same category with Sean McDermott, where it's like, this year, brother, if you don't make it to the AFC, if you're the Ravens and you don't get to the AFC Championship game, I feel like you got to really have to take a hard look at the head coaching and go, okay, this staff will win us games, and we know that they've proven that they can win a staff. But for whatever reason, they can't get us over the hump. Maybe we need a change of voice. Maybe we should need a change of tone. Maybe we just need a whole new staff to come in and bring a different type of energy to this group. It's gonna get ugly. It's going to get loud in Baltimore, and I hate it. I hate it because it's not always kept about football, and once it starts getting messy like that, brother, sports aren't that fun. Sports are not fun once they start getting messy. But speaking of the Mike Tomlin mishap in the fourth quarter out there in Ireland, JB, what a tough game for you guys. I'm assuming you weren't having a great time waking up at 7:30 in the morning to what you saw. I mean, I hate to tell you, I told you Thursday, Carson Wentz's track record has shown us that if you put the ball in his hand 9 out of 10 times, it's not going to look very good. And it did not look good at all, JB. Carson Wentz, let's see. Carson Wentz, I mean, what what was your impression of him with the game in his hands? What was
It's
your impression of what he delivered? I mean, we're talking 30 for 46. I mean, I guess that's not completely terrible, but him,
the
even
two
the
turnovers
fact
were
that there's
bad.
46 pass attempts next to his name makes me want to vomit. He did have 350 yards, which is quite incredible when you're just looking at the stat sheet with 2 touchdowns. JB, what was your takeaways from this game, and how do you feel as a fan going forward?
So the thing with Carson Wentz that bothered me is how, and this has been an issue. I mean, golly, it's been an issue all year, obviously with JJ McCarthy too, but just the fact that he's holding on to the ball, but he's not seeing the field. And like there was a play where I think it was like first or second drive of the game. We're moving the ball. We're in the red zone. It's 3rd and 8 or something like that. You got JJ coming across the middle on like a slant and a crosser, and he stops like a short like drag route. Stops in the middle of the field. He's wide open, and then you got the running back to the right, just wide open. So whoever he gives the ball to, essentially, it's a touchdown, right?
Mm,
Carson Wentz's eyes are just looking to the left at who knows what, gets screamed at by the rusher that comes in, and that's it. Then we settle for 3 points. So little things like that, just these guys just can't read the ball. Obviously, they're holding on to the ball a lot as well. And that's the biggest thing. And these turnovers by Carson Wentz they just killed the momentum. They killed our
yeah.
chance to do anything. And the biggest thing too, as I was mentioning about that offensive line, doesn't matter who you have on the outside. It doesn't matter. We were down to our third string center, some guard, Matt Huber or something. I don't even know this guy. I don't even know. And I know most players on the Vikings, like and Brian O'Neill on an extra point rolled his something happened. They fear it's a meniscus tear. So we might never. This is one of the things where we literally put so much money into the offensive line this offseason. We might never see him again. We might never see this whole offensive line, all 5 starters, play together because Ryan
Yeah.
Kelly, he's coming towards the end of his career, and he just got called up for another concussion. That's his second in 3 weeks. He's 32 years old. It might be time to
Better
wrap it
retire,
up.
boy.
So
Better
we might never
retire.
see all 5 of these guys on the offensive line at once. So that's already a disappointment. Carson Wentz, obviously, the whole quarterback controversy thing, just cut it off right now, nip it in the
Yeah.
tail. You know, we know what we're going to get out of Carson Wentz. Like, yeah, he was serviceable last week. He didn't have to do too much, but when the game's more on the line and he's got to make plays for this team to win, he's just not going to do it. So JJ is going to come back against Philly and get absolutely destroyed, but at least he's going to have a full year of development. And if we win 8 games this year, I'll call it a victory.
Yep, JB. That game screamed JJ McCarthy, get healthy.
Yeah,
That game screamed,
it's
please get
better.
healthy. On the
It's
bright
overall
side, if you're a
better.
Vikings fan, JB, you're sitting at 2-2. You went against a defense that seems like they're starting to get some rhythm together. Let's remember, Mr. Porter Jr. is coming back, and they have Slay and they have Ramsey. That sounds like a pretty good backfill with T.J. Watt sitting in front of them. This Pittsburgh Steelers team sitting at 3-1. But JB, the game changer of that game, how the hell Jordan Addison? How do you get caught?
My
How do you get
linebacker,
caught, bro?
don't
That
know.
blows my mind.
There was
Blows
3:20
my mind.
left. There was 3:20 left in the clock, and we had to
That's
wait.
a
We had to score on a
whole
fourth
different
down.
game.
Yeah,
Whole different game.
whole different game.
Crazy. I don't understand how he gets caught. That once you saw that, and then the announcers like 45 seconds have went off since that tackle, and it's like,
A minute,
geez.
a minute and 20, a minute and like 12 seconds went
By the
off.
time they scored,
Yeah, so
shaking my head.
that's crazy. But honestly, I mean, okay, first of all, you need to put up Peyton Wilson. You need to put his speed to like 99 on Madden now. After that, like the way that he just caught a wide receiver, that's a linebacker, dude, and he just ran down a wide receiver 50 yards out. So, geez, like yeah, that makes me upset. But the whole reason they were
Peyton
in the
Wilson.
situation is because Pittsburgh ultimately ran the ball 4th and goal at the 4-yard line. I mean,
Yep.
just really conservative play calling. At the end of the day, I mean, that's not going to
Yeah,
win you
Mike,
nothing.
Big Mike,
You're playing not to. You're playing to win the
Big
game, but you're
Mike.
playing not to lose at that point. Really
You
bad.
go. Here's the dumb part. So they have a 4th and 1 before that, and
Yeah,
they elect to punt. They come out
yeah.
ready.
Try to get
No
us with
one
the hard
jumps.
count.
They don't go for it. And it's like, what are we doing? Is this Matt LaFleur on the other side of the sideline right now? Are we just don't trust Aaron Rodgers? What's going on? And then you go down to the goal line, 4th and 3, or I think it was 4th and 4, and they decide to run it. It's like, what? Do you not remember who you have? The Hall of Famer, a Super Bowl champion in your backfield? Like, this is crazy. Bro, just watching the frustration on Aaron Rodgers' face, I felt that because I'm sure every Steeler fan is thinking the same thing. Like, what are we talking about? Did we not make a move to bring this guy in to get us to the promised lands? Like, let's put him in that situation because at some point, this is going to come back and haunt them, bro. You gotta take advantage of of being put in these situations. Allow Aaron Rodgers to close it out. And if you lose, then okay. I was almost hoping that the Steelers lost that game for how dumb it was managed. And
Yeah,
and and
I
and
was thinking
going
at
back
the end
to
like we could steal it. We could steal this game at
you
with
should
like
and,
what?
and you guys should have. I really thought y'all
Yeah,
were. Mike Tomlin was trying to gift y'all this game. He's like, "Here, buddy. I know it's not Christmas yet, but Black Friday is right around the corner. Here you go. Go have a good time." That's what it felt like Mike Tomlin was doing. Just dumb. That was a team that deserved to lose, and you go over to Dallas and Green Bay, same thing. Same thing. What were they doing in those last 30 seconds, JB? Jordan Love looked confused. It seemed like Matt LaFleur couldn't get a call into to Jordan Love's ear. I don't know what happened. It just
awful
stupidity. The
execution.
one thing Earl texted me, Packers fan, he said Matt LaFleur is an idiot. Like, and I'm just like, damn, you guys got to be pissed with this guy right now because he said the play calling is completely off and Matt LaFleur has no confidence. And bro, you saw it. You saw it on display, and the Packers absolutely deserve to lose that game. If you're the Packers, like Cowboys fans right now, we're like confused. We really don't know how to feel. Right? We're kind of like, wish we would have won. Wish we would have gotten. We kind of let that one get away from us just a little bit. Should have won that game. Me in the fourth quarter, I was cussing out my TV. I'm like, yeah, throwing middle fingers at Micah Parsons as they show him like, Dak threw that in your face. Y'all are gonna lose. And then I realized, holy shit, there's 40 seconds left. They still have 3 timeouts. They only need a field goal to tie. And then I sit down. And I'm like, all right, here we go. It's hopefully we just end up tying. Dallas, I wish they would have been more aggressive there in overtime. I mean, we were right there in the red zone. Let's just close it out. Go play to win. A whole lot of playing not to lose this Sunday. It grosses me out. Grosses me out. Like, come on. We sat here for 3 hours. Be aggressive. Damn it. Damn it, JB. All right. Vikings. Let me ask you this before we move on from your team. Are we panicking yet, or is next week still the spot?
We it's next week for sure. You know, this game was
Next
up
week,
in the air,
100%.
but we got to win against the Browns, and then we go because we're about to get into the real hard spot of the schedule
The thick of
after
it.
our bye week. So we get Philly. Um, we get I don't even remember. I was looking at it yesterday, but we just have a
You got
tough.
most important one is you guys got the Browns this weekend.
Yes,
Solid defense. More than
we
likely, it
should
sounds like you guys
win.
are trending towards Carson Wentz still, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think JJ's coming back till after the bye.
All right. Well, let's JB, I do want to talk about the Niners Jaguars game. I got this video to show you right quick. And then we're gonna go on and let's talk about Jackson Dart making his debut. What a win.
Yeah.
And then maybe a trade that just completely bit someone in the ass. We'll discuss that here in just a few after this video, JB. So the Jaguars and 49ers battled it out. In the pregame, there was a video that surfaced of Robert Saleh criticizing the Jacksonville Jaguars, saying that they were one of some of the greatest sign stealing staffs ever of all time. And it was misinterpreted, or it depends how you would take that whenever you saw it. Some people might take that as disrespect, as you saying that you're doing something illegally, but the Jaguars weren't or aren't. And I think maybe according to Kyle Shanahan, he said Robert Saleh was complimenting how great they are at doing their job and finding out what teams are in and doing. But it seems like Conan, the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, took it a little differently. And this is what happened at the end of that game here, JB. No shake of the hand. Just completely ignored him. You keep my name out your mouth, JB.
Jaguars 26 and the 49ers 21. Be sure to join us right back.
Oh man. I'm not done yet. Let's go. That's a dub.
Yeah, they were pretty upset about that.
Oh, they were so hurt. I love the juice. I love the juice from Jacksonville. And Jacksonville is one of those teams where it's like we still don't really know what they are because they have glimpses of greatness. And then Trevor Lawrence does something so stupid, and you're just like, come on, you're in your fifth year. How are you making these mistakes? But I love the dog and Liam stepping up to Robert Saleh, knowing damn well that if they were put in a situation where it had to get physical, I'm going to make the assumption that Robert Saleh is going to put Liam's neck through a wall. I mean, you just look at the man that Robert Saleh is, just about to bust that little sweater that he has open, bro. I mean, what did you get out of that video? And I mean, what are your expectations from both teams?
Well, I don't know. It's all speculation. I mean, obviously it was bad blood. Like you don't want to be accused of cheating in any sort of sense. So obviously, like for him to retaliate like that, like he felt a certain way about it for sure, for sure. So
He didn't
it was
deserve that.
probably rightfully said. I would have done the same thing. If somebody's kind of like
Staying on business.
degrading me and like my integrity and stuff like that for sure. Oh yeah. So I don't blame him, especially capping it off with a win too. That makes it even better. So that was a good thing. So but Jaguars, they outplayed the 49ers that game. They deserve to win that game.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was a well fought game. Brock Purdy came back, performed decently. I thought they had a pretty good game. The Niners just had a little too many turnovers. I don't know if you credit that to the Niners. I think you just credit that to Jacksonville's defense being gritty. I think that's the one thing the Jacksonville Jaguars have going for them right now is the consistent play from their defense. Them boys are swarming to the ball. They're getting there, creating opportunities from themselves, and it's delivering right now. The Jaguars defense looks really good, and that as soon as their offense can, let's just make the assumption that they're going to figure it out. Especially well with Liam Conan, we saw what he was able to do with Baker Mayfield in the Bucks as their offensive coordinator over there. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that they get it better, that they get better as the season goes on. That Trevor Lawrence isn't going to make those same knucklehead mistakes. I mean, come on, we're in year 5. at this point, Trevor Lawrence should be peaking, and I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because of who his head coach is and what he did with Baker Mayfield last year. JB Travis Hunter though, this guy's electric when he gets the ball in his hands, but he's also electric on the defensive side. You know, Ryan Clark put a tweet out where he said they got to decide whether they want him on offense or defense because he's so electric, but you can't really see it much because they're trying to juggle both sides. So if you were just to put him on one side of the ball, the potential seems to be endless. I mean, just based off of what you've seen, where do you think Jacksonville should lean towards? I'm leaning toward the offense side of the ball, but it's because I love the explosive plays. I mean, the guy had a crazy post route down the middle, all hands, full extension, bringing that bad boy down. I would love to, for me personally, I would love to see him on the offensive side of the field. But I mean, what do you think on him?
I think he should be at defensive back. Like, I don't know, because how many good defensive backs are there? And
Yeah,
like the need for them. You can never have too many backs. And especially if he's going to be like starting too. I think you got to limit his offensive snaps, and I don't know, man. It's tough right now. It's tough right now in this point of his career. It's hard to kind of determine what you should put him at right now. The defense is playing decent, but I think you need him out there on defense. The offense needs another weapon, to pair up with Brian Thomas Jr. So that's another. So I don't know. Right now, the Jags. I don't think you determine that this year. I think you still got to make a couple moves.
I
Add
think
some
so.
players, and then you can see where you need this guy at the most, and then maybe have a couple packages for him, here and there. But I don't know. Right now, I think you got to keep using him how you're using him. It's his
If you
first
go
year. It's
DB,
his rookie
if you
year.
go DB, maybe you just bring him in on offense for like third down packages, I guess,
Maybe
just to
something like
create
that.
at least create a distraction. But ETN ETN might be comeback player of the year. The guy's performing his butt off. He went last night for 19 carries, 124 yards, and one touchdown. You know, JB, that is what happens when you give a great back the ball. You know, allow him to create space for himself. And ETN is doing that for us right now. And
That's what he does.
JB, what a heartbreaker. The Colts head over to LA to play the 2-1, now 3-1 Rams after pulling off a 27-20 victory with Matthew Stafford going for 29 for 41, 375 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Puka Nakua had a game, JB. Had a hell of a game, went 13 receptions, 170 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, I might have been the MVP of the weekend. That game, JB, the one thing that stood out to me the most is what a dumb, dumb, dumb. So dumb. Might be the dumbest. I hate when players try to celebrate too early. And when they do, the football gods come down from the beautiful skies right now in Roswell, beautiful and cloudy. They come down from the skies and just smack these boys in the mouth every time they get a little too cocky. And the Indianapolis Colts, what happened to? I mean, it might have lost in the game. And then the same guy, that kid, I should have gotten his name.
That and I
He might not
mentioned.
have a job this morning. I mean, that might have costed them. And then the holding at the end of the game definitely costed them. JT making a spectacular play, taking it to the house for I think it was like 64 yards. Colts probably win, or at least, I mean, they take the lead in that situation, put pressure on Matthew Stafford. I mean, the Rams did show that they turned around and scored in like 45 seconds. But, bro, what a heartbreak for the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, if I'm not the coach, I think what we learned from that game is that, hey, the Colts are a pretty good team. And
Yeah.
hey, guess what? The Rams are also a really good team. And what we saw yesterday is just a potential Super Bowl matchup, and it was a beautiful game. It played out. It played out great. I mean, it had all the drama. It had all the drama from stupidity to great play to Matthew Stafford delivering as he typically does, at least in a Rams uniform.
Yeah.
What's your takeaways from that game?
Yeah. My thing is, the Colts are, I think, the real deal. Even though they lost, I mean, you could say that they should have
The
won.
real deal.
I think the Colts are definitely a team, a contender this year, a solid playoff contender. I don't know how far they go, but I think they definitely make the playoffs. I don't know how much damage they cause. You never know. They could get an upset. But I take away a lot from. We knew that the Rams were good going in. It's just how for real are the Colts, and I think they proved that they deserve to be seen as a legitimate playoff contender for sure,
Yeah.
and a
I love the
division
Colts.
winner.
The Colts are fun. The Colts are fun. The Colts, they really got it buzzing. I really hate that. Man, Buddy can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. And then to turn around and it seems like that was kind of still bugging him in a sense. And then he just a bad holding call. I mean, you watch that replay, JT coming off the left side, and it didn't seem like he needed to hold his the cornerback that was on him, just lay a hit, be a distraction, and unfortunately that comes back in the Colts lose. But Colts seem to be the real deal. The real deal. Jackson Dart, JB on Thursday night, the the traps were out. You were showing the guns, the chest was showing. And I thought I finessed you into the trade of the year for myself. I thought I finessed you. We traded
I
Malik
needed that.
Nabers, who I had, or who you had, and I traded you Jaden Daniels and Marvin Harrison Jr. After the Thursday night performance by the Cardinals, who squeaked out an easy win, Marvin Harrison Jr., I was like, all right, here we go. I could talk somebody into making this trade. We're live. I offer up the trade, and you start questioning, oh, maybe I shouldn't. Oh, am I getting got? And then you're like, yeah, let's do it. Come on now. And guess what? I gloated in front of your face, Borba. I did the whole, I put some Bad Bunny in my ears, and I was vibing. Titi me preguntó, tengo mucha novia. Mucha novia. And
Thank you for that.
guess what the football gods did, JB?
Yep, they punished you.
Boom. Smacked me right in my mouth.
You could call it the fleece of the year. Fleece of the
Maybe
year.
the fleece of the year. Jeez. Malik Neighbors potentially hasn't came out yet, but he's getting an MRI today. But it seems like everyone is saying is a torn ACL. You know what that means? Torn ACL. He's going to be out for the rest of the year and probably the start of next year. I'm so hurt. I am so hurt. Honestly, hurt because I let go of two solid ass players, solid ass players, and now I end up with none. Um, well, how do you feel about the trade, and two, how do you feel about Jackson Dart edging out a win over a Chargers team who we thought,
We
this
thought.
is the NFL. No off days, no off days. The Chargers head over to New York and completely drop the ball. They lose another offensive lineman in the action. That doesn't help when you're already missing your left tackle. But if you're the Chargers, you finally have a hold of the division. You can really put yourself out there.
Yep.
You could have been at 4-0. Now you only have a 1-game lead over the Chiefs. I mean, if you're the Chargers, how do you feel right now?
Yeah, that man, Justin Herbert just did not play good after we were kind of like high on him the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah.
But I thought even last week too there was a couple questionable mistakes that he made. So the Giants, the one thing that we always have said is that the Giants have a pretty stout defense. Like almost a respectable defense. Like they can come to play. They can definitely get after the pat. They can get after the quarterback. They have some guys in the secondary that are optimistic, can make plays, and that's what they did. They definitely took advantage of Justin Herbert's mistakes yesterday, and they put Jackson Dart in really really good situations for him to look good. I mean, if Herbert doesn't throw those interceptions, I don't think the Giants don't get the ball like at first and goal like twice. I think they got the ball at first and goal like twice throughout
Yeah.
that entire game, which is, I mean, it's almost dumb not to score no matter who you are at quarterback. Like, so this says a lot more about the Chargers, but the fact that the Giants came out with their rookie quarterback, were able to make plays and help them success. Jackson
Yep.
Dart and Cam Scatterbo. That's going to be a fun little
It's a
duo.
nice little duo.
Yeah, it's a good little duo to come for the future for the Giants. So they're looking forward to that. But yeah, you got some hope now in
Yeah,
New
two
York.
strong
You got some
whites.
hope. You got some
Two
hope. So we'll see how that
Too
goes.
strong.
But
Two strong whites with some swagger. Hey, shout out
yeah,
Jackson
yeah,
Dart.
two white boys with some swagger. So figure out now. Depending how long Joe Alt is out now at right tackle, like they could have some potential issues now because now not only are you down the All Pro and Rashawn Slater on the left, but now All Pro Joe Alt on the right. So when your tackles are gone, dude, your quarterback is totally exposed. It might be rough. It might be rough. So we're gonna have to see how the Chargers respond.
Yeah,
So
this is where it gets interesting because it's like, how are they going to criticize Justin Herbert? Because are we going to use the whole his
nobody
offensive line?
criticizes
His
Herbert.
offensive line is hurt. His offensive line, sure.
Nobody,
There's a lot
yeah,
of teams with the hurt
nobody
offensive line. I mean,
criticizes
look at
Herbert.
Jordan Love. What was that?
Nobody criticizes Herbert. He gets very little criticism.
Yeah, it's
Like
like he's off
it's
limits.
crazy.
It's
So
like he's
yeah,
off limits.
yeah.
But let him drop 2 or 3 games here this year because they've already put him up here. He's sitting up here right now, JB.
I
He's
think
sitting high.
panic,
That's
but
the
I think
beautiful.
in a sense, you hit the panic button because you just saw what the Chiefs did yesterday. I think the Chiefs are getting back to normal after that game. Like I think that we see that the Chiefs are still going to be a top team that you got to go through. You got to be the best. You got to beat the best. And right now, the Chiefs are what, one game behind the Chargers right now. So it's now the division's up in the air. The division is up in the air. So it's going to be interesting to see. There's a lot of pressure on the Chargers to hold that lead now, which is even,
Yeah, now
now
they have
everything's
to,
starting to
right?
come together for Kansas City. We'll see.
Well, JB, let's close this out. Send these beautiful people to work. Shout out to you guys that joined us today. I appreciate you guys. JB, let's make our quick picks for Monday Night Football. Somewhat of snoozers. I wouldn't say they're the greatest games of slate that we have for a Monday Night Football game, but you got the Giants versus the Dolphins kicking off at 5:15 on ESPN, and then you got the Bengals and Broncos on ABC kicking off at 6:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, of course. Joe Burrow obviously not playing. Um, who are your picks for these 2 games? Jets, Dolphins, and Bengals, Broncos.
Jets, Dolphins. Does Justin Fields come back today?
Let me double check. Let me double check.
I'm not too sure.
I know he's questionable. Game time decision. I think it's Tyrod Taylor. He's not on the injury report,
He's not
so
on
it
the
sounds
injury
like he's gonna
report.
play.
If Justin Fields plays, I'm
You like
going.
that?
I'm going Jets. I'm going Jets. I think the Jets can pull it off. And then for the
He's not
other
on
game,
injury.
Bengals Broncos. I'm going to take the Broncos. I think they offensively. I think they tried to find themselves playing a bad Bengals defense. They should be able to take advantage of that. Now, what's kind of been holding the Broncos back, surprisingly, has been Bo Nix. He's got a couple limitations, and we're starting to see that. His arm talent was always his arm strength was always kind of a thing coming out of college. Like, oh, does this guy put enough zip on the ball? And he kind of hasn't been. Like his footwork hasn't been great. He's been throwing some balls into the dirt where it's not reaching his receivers. He's been throwing some passes late. So you expect to get the timing down. I think they should change it. Sean Payton should be good enough to
The
change some
adjustment
of those things around for Bo Nix. So I expect Bo Nix and the offense to kind of get back on track, and they win that game.
today.
Yep.
I like that. I'm gonna go with you as well. Uh, Dolphins gonna fall to 0-4. It's gonna be interesting the fallout of that. I expect to see those Tyreek Hill trades get very, very, very loud tonight. Very loud tonight. I'm not gonna be surprised if we see a couple helmets thrown from Tyreek Hill, and that will be our indicator. Let's watch Tyreek Hill on the sideline. Let's see the level of frustration that begins to build, and I promise if you see a very frustrated Tyreek Hill, I bet you anything by the end of the week, Tyreek Hill is probably, if not already traded, definitely the conversations are going to begin. With that being said, JB, I appreciate you guys joining us. I appreciate you guys in the comments being active with us. Thank you for waking up this morning with us and getting ready. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the fair. Enjoy the parade. Be safe and be kind. This is speaking out loud. Be a friend. Tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. And don't forget, be as a matter of fact, do something. Let's grab your phone this morning and let's just text a friend you love them. Let them know you're here for them. We never know what anybody's going through. So just be that friend that extends a hand or a hug. And if you don't have that person, you have us. So I appreciate you guys. This is Speaking Out Loud. Let's have a day.